Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Taya Brown. I'm a consultant here at the Temple SBDC. The Temple SBDC is a part of a nationally accredited program of 1,000 SBDCs across the nation. You have joined us for Networking for Small Business Success. Our presenter today will be Gab Sassador, and I'll turn it over to you, Gab.
Thank you so much, Taya. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be talking about networking for your small business and really how to turn that into a business development tool for your small business. So I'll get started today. I'll share a little bit about myself. I'd love to tell you more about our center here at Temple. If you feel comfortable, please introduce yourself in the chat. I like this to be as engaging as possible. I'll be asking some questions, so please don't hesitate to use the reactions, to leave a comment. It's also helpful if you just share what type of business you own or what industry you're in. I like to use some examples throughout today's content, just to make it relevant to your business as well. So I'm going to share my screen. Please tell me if you can't see the presentation. But my name, as Taya said, is Gab. I am a marketing consultant here at Temple. Some of my background, I started in journalism. I worked as a marketing director. And then most recently, before coming to Temple, I worked for a chamber of commerce where I was networking pretty much every day. So I have some tips, and more importantly, we're going to think about networking beyond just collecting business cards as a fun social activity. We're going to think about it as a lead generator for your business. So let's get into it today. So I'm going to share just a little bit about Temple and the Small Business Center here. We've been serving small businesses and entrepreneurs since 1983. Our mission is to provide entrepreneurs and small business owners the knowledge you need to make smart decisions and prosper. We serve both startups and businesses just starting out, all the way to businesses that have been around for a number of years. Maybe you're looking to strategize, scale, work on operations, have some HR questions, whatever it is, we're here to help you. I work with a team of experts across a variety of topics. So very excited to potentially work with you. Luckily, from our funders, we're able to provide all of these services at no cost. So we're funded through the United States Small Business Administration at the state level through the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development, as well as Temple University and the Fox School of Business here on campus. We're also a member and accredited through the America's SBDC. And again, here are the services we can help you, either starting your business, growing, and certainly prospering. We serve businesses and entrepreneurs in Philadelphia. Don't worry, if you're outside of the city, there is a small business development center for every zip code across the country. We're part of a nationwide network. So again, get in touch with us and we'll be happy to refer you to your local center as well. So here are some of the services that we offer. We offer one-on-one confidential business consulting at no cost to you. All you have to do is sign up through our website. You'll be assigned a consultant here with our team, and then we'll work on whatever is the most pressing matter for your business. Whether you're getting started on your business plan, you want to talk about growth, you want to learn more about how to implement AI, or you want to, improve your bookkeeping, you're looking for maybe some financing or loans or government contracting. That's where we're here to help. So you can, follow the QR code, find more information on our website. You'll also get a follow-up email today with next steps if you want to work with our team. And then we also offer resources and training throughout the year, webinars like the one today. We offer them monthly on a variety of topics. We also have some more structured training programs. Some are no cost, some do have fees associated. That's to provide the instructor for those. So right now, if you're in Philadelphia, maybe you might be behind on some back taxes or want to prepare, need some assistance with gathering your records. We have a tax clinic happening right now. We also offer, that I'm a part of, a branding clinic. There is a small fee involved, but today we're going to be talking a lot about the branding for your business. What are your brand colors? What's the font you use? What's your logo? We can help you put that together. We also have two programs coming up. Again, there are fees associated for the instructor time, but one, if you're a first year business owner, you've made it through that first year of business, how do I get to the next step? How do I scale? How can I improve my operations? You can apply for our program called Boost. And then if you're in the construction industry, maybe you want to really improve your management skills, learn all of the pieces to running a construction company. We have our construction management certificate series starting in October. So both of those programs, you can apply and register today. Um, we talked about this. We also have a lot of great webinars coming up. Next week, we'll be talking about our construction program with a virtual session. We'll also have a representative from the state highlighting the PA Business One-Stop Shop. So if you're a business in Pennsylvania, I encourage you to attend that. Great resource here for Pennsylvania businesses. We'll also have coming up in September our business planning courses called our First Steps. We'll have a great webinar, a representative from the IRS to talk about record keeping, right? We're getting ahead of tax filing for next year. And then I'll also be instructing, can't believe I'm going to say it, but let's get ready for the holidays. So if you want to learn more about getting your marketing plan in place over the next couple of weeks, we love Small Business Saturday in November. Join us on September 17th. And we have a lot more coming up as well. So you can check out our website for that. And then if you're in the Philadelphia area, we're actually offering some in-person opportunities. One, learn how to do business with Temple. We're going to be talking about Temple procurement and also our construction management series. So we'll have a networking event coming up on September 9th here at Temple. And then we're also having a half-day summit at the end of September. If you're looking to learn more about how to sell your business, or maybe you want to buy into a business, we're going to have experts talking about those topics. Maybe your company supports businesses that are going through either of those. So if you're in the professional services, you have clients that are buying, selling their business, we invite you to come out. So again, that'll be an in-person event, September 25th, again, here on campus at Temple. Okay, so let's get into our networking today. So most importantly, I want you to think about this as the strategies to implement and how to turn this into, right, a business development channel for your company. Now, business owners are often faced with, what do I do? Where am I going to make the investment? Am I going to pay someone to do this task, or am I going to invest my own time to do it? So if you fall into, you're responsible as the business owner for your marketing, for your lead generations, we're going to talk through those strategies and the systems to implement, again, to have those qualified leads generated for your business. And that's going to be what we're going to talk about today for your networking. If you can, react, do any companies currently do some networking for your business? That's always just helpful for me to know, or if you're just getting started out. It was something that I felt uncomfortable with at first. It's hard to, stand in front of a crowd and talk about your company, but we're going to discuss today a formula you can implement. It's also hard sometimes on those one-on-one conversations. What do you talk about? How do you start the conversation? We're going to offer some tips today for you. So here we go. Our agenda, why networking still matters. We're in an age of AI, software, CRMs. I'm sure you hear about these things. Perhaps you have people trying to sell you those software and tools, but we can talk about, we're going to do this on a budget. So I'll talk about the systems. Maybe then you can implement that into, right? Some technology or software, but we're going to learn the basics today on that. We're going to talk through 5 strategies to implement. And then most importantly, what's the action plan? What's next for the company as well? So I'm just going to check in. We have some guests that know work already. Great. It's so nice to meet everyone. Professional services. Good morning to everyone here. Great. Happy to have everyone join us. All right, so let's get into the networking part. So why does it still matter? We've really talked about this, but think about when you make your own purchase, right? A lot of times you're buying from a brand or a person that you trust. And networking is a great way to build those relationships within your business community and then as well as with the larger community. We're going to talk about how to be strategic in which events to attend and to participate in. So again, you might have a stack of business cards sitting on your desk. We're going to talk about how do we turn that into a system to turn those into some qualified leads for your business. And our first strategy today that we're going to talk about is building a memorable first impression. It starts way before you even enter the venue where the event's taking place. So think about you're walking up to where the event is taking place. Maybe you're walking through the parking lot. I've done this a million times, right? And I notice, right, the vehicles that are in the parking lot that are wrapped. And hey, that's a free advertisement for your company. I'm not suggesting you have to go out and buy a vehicle for your company, but if you use something where it's marked already, you have your advertisement on the side, maybe you're in construction and your van or your delivery truck has your business name. Think about, I'm going to park it towards the front so anybody walking in sees it, right? You're already starting that marketing and that promotions before you even get in the door. And then once I meet you within the business, I'm connecting it, even subconsciously. Oh, right, that's the delivery truck I saw out front. Okay. A note on that branding. Make sure that whatever logo or information, the colors, the font that you have, maybe on that truck or vehicle, right? It matches the business card you're going to hand out. Maybe it matches the name tag that you have. When I go to your website, it's going to, again, have that same cohesive branding. That's so important with this, right? You're building that recognition, you're building that brand trust. Please be, cognizant of that. And I understand sometimes business owners, you have to be really diligent on where you allocate your budget, but we're going to talk about today just some simple things to make sure that that branding is cohesive, okay? We're building that recognition. They're going to then meet you. You're going to give them some takeaways, and here are some of the next steps. So I would say think about investing in a name tag. If you have some team members who also do networking for you, they're fairly inexpensive. If you're not able to just yet, buy everyone a polo with your logo on it or, something like that, invest in some name tags. Um, all it really needs is, right, you want to have your business name and your name pretty clear, pretty big to stand out. I can read it. Some people suggest wear it on, the hand that you shake hands with. This way I'm seeing your name and your business as I'm, shaking your hand in person. Again, make sure it's that same logo that's on all of your other materials for that. So that's one suggestion. Again, name recognition. I have a hard time remembering names, but if I'm seeing, right, Gab on the name tag, I'm shaking your hand, it's helping me remember. So you want to stand out for that. Business cards still matter. So make sure you're investing in some business cards for yourself or for your team. Again, make sure that branding's cohesive. It's the same type of font. It has the same logo, the same colors. Make sure the contact information is up to date. This might be a place maybe you don't want to put your personal cell. If that's the one you use for business, and for now, just has to be that way. I understand. Try to have, right, a professional email for this. Um, you could, if you wanted to, maybe utilize your LinkedIn. We're going to get talking about LinkedIn later this morning. But you want to just have up-to-date contact information, right? You don't want to hand out that business card with the number crossed out and, oh, this is my new number or this is my business line. When you go to invest in it, make sure it's your business contact information for that as well. And then also you want to think about what am I going to say in person? And you want to have a strong introduction. Okay, we're going to talk about the part of the networking event that I don't always love when they say, oh, everyone, stand up and introduce yourself, introduce your business. What am I going to say? I'm not sure, but we're going to talk through a formula. It's pretty much an elevator pitch. You can have a short version, a longer version if time allows at that event. But this way you feel confident and know what you're going to say. Also, just some comments on, that in-person interaction. Just be yourself, stay calm, especially if you're just getting into it. It can be really overwhelming. I think it's a really tough thing to ask someone to walk into a room where they don't know anyone and now like engage in conversations, right? Where do you begin? So I like to think about have a strategy plan for that. Okay. If it's challenging for you, just say, I'm going to talk to 3 people and then I'm going to allow myself to leave, right? You don't have to stay for those full 2 hours if it's something that's challenging for you. Get comfortable, right? Get your reps in. And then I bet you over time you're going to want to stay and you're going to start recognizing the people in that room. Okay. So I would say set some goals for yourself going in. We're going to talk about that later, right? Know who you want to connect with. If you get there, you really don't know anyone. A good person to start with is, right, the person doing the registration, the person who's a representative of the organization hosting it. Talk to them first. That kind of gets you warmed up. This is a great event you're hosting. Oh, can you recommend anyone I should connect with here? Could you introduce me to someone? That's a good person to maybe start with, right? Then have some things, some conversation starters just in the back of your head if you're in some of those, you know, one-on-ones where you're not sure where to take the conversation. Ask, what's something really exciting you're working on? People love to talk about themselves. Sometimes you just have to give them, right, the prompts to share more. Talk about, right, who's a good referral for you? Who could I help you connect with? You start to learn a little bit more about their business. Ask them, what's your ideal, customer? Who is it? Tell me more about who you serve. Again, they're going to open up. You're learning more about their business. And also, you're learning, could we work together in some way? So that's really helpful. And then again, you can be a connector for them. If at the next event you meet someone that could be a good referral for you, now you're doing that connecting, you're doing that networking. That's key here in building those relationships. Okay. Right. Think about how you're making the person feel. They might, again, right, not remember, your sales pitch, what you share, but they're going to say, I really enjoyed that conversation with the person. They were easy to talk to. A big thing I see at networking events today, I see it everywhere. Please be mindful about holding your cell phone being on your phone. Okay. We know how it's like when you're talking to someone and they're just, checking their smartwatch, they're on their cell phone. It's not really engaging. So just be mindful of that. Now, of course, if you say, oh, let's connect on LinkedIn right now, sure. Or let me show you my latest products. You're in a conversation, you want to show it on your phone, great. But again, just be kind of mindful that you might be throwing out some signals that you're not, engaging with the crowd. So something to be mindful of that. So again, kind of having that game plan and that strategy before you go into the room can really help. All right, let's talk about strong introductions. Uh-oh, everyone in the crowd, stand up and introduce yourself. I used to really dread that part, but we're going to talk about a formula that you can implement. And I also want to take a pause. I didn't mention this at the beginning. I'm going to provide after this session today a workbook. It's going to have all of this content. It'll just be in a workbook format for you. So you can also write your own introduction, write your own LinkedIn headline. It's going to be the same content. I just don't have permission to share the photos that I use. So I feel like a workbook will be even more helpful than a slide deck. So you'll receive that today. You'll get all this information. So let's talk about, right, the first impression. I have to introduce myself. So I'm going to pretend I'm Gab. I own a marketing company, right? I could say, hi, I'm Gab. I own a marketing company. But what's even more engaging? Think about the problem you solve for your clients and lead with that. So here, I'm Gab. I own Gab's marketing agency. Okay, is that memorable? You might not remember that. What if I stood up and said, hi, I'm Gab, and I help busy small business owners generate qualified leads for their business and they can handle their own business or and they don't have to manage a daily ad budget. I'm including the problem that I'm solving for my customers within my introduction. Some points that people say is introduce your name and your company at the beginning and then at the end. So let me try that again. Okay. I'm Gab. I own Gab's Marketing Agency. I help busy small business owners generate qualified leads so they don't have to worry about managing a daily ad budget or sales process. Again, my name is Gab. I own Gab's Marketing Agency. That's just one type of formula that you can use for your company. Name, business, problem you solve for your ideal client. End it again with name, business. You'll hear a lot of different types of formulas or ways you can do that, but think about how that kind of, right? Maybe it spoke to you. You're trying to connect with, right, the people in the audience that could be your potential clients. And really, people remember the problems you solve, not necessarily write the business name. There might be other competitors in the room, and you're going to hear from 5 marketing agencies. But how can I stand out? I'm talking directly to the audience. I'm in an audience of busy small business owners. I haven't met one that said, "Oh, I don't need any more business. I don't need any more leads," right? Everyone wants more business and more clients. So think about utilizing that formula for your own company. These are the basic 5 steps to an elevator pitch. For a business pitch, you're going for, an investor. These are like the 5 points to hit, but you can use that right for your own company. So you start with who you are, your name, your business. If you want to put title, you can, but again, people aren't going to remember titles. They're going to remember, right, the problem that you're solving. Identify the problem. Who do you help? Okay. And then how do you solve it through your business? Easy solutions. I work one-on-one with you, right? What makes you different? Why me? That's your unique value proposition. That's your secret sauce. What makes you unique from all the competitors in the room? And then your call to action. What do you want to do? You know, please connect with me today to learn more. Let's talk about how we can come up with a strategy for your business. You have to tell everyone in the room what to do next. Don't think it's too forward. You have to tell them, right, the next call to action. Um, if you're in person, you might want them, right, to come and talk to you. In another instance, it might be, visit my website to learn more. That might be more for something online, a social media post, right? No matter where you're putting your messaging, in person, online, um, whatever the format is, and with the call to action. What do you want that person to do next? They're scrolling through your website, shop now, right? Request a quote today. In person, come up and talk to me. I want to meet you. Again, this will be in the workbook so you can craft your own. The only way you get comfortable with it, right? Practice it, practice it, practice it. And I promise you, the more you do this, in person, you're going to feel a lot more comfortable again because you're prepared walking in that room. You've got your business cards, you've got your name tag, you're ready, you have your introduction. Also think about, right, like what you're wearing. I'm just going to give like a quick example. I work here at Temple University. If I'm going to a college fair with every other college in Philadelphia, if you're familiar with them, right, I might not wear this outfit, right? We're cherry and white. I need to wear those colors. If I'm walking around, someone sees me wearing blue, they might associate with me, right, with another university or college. So think about again, you're really, right, a walking advertisement. You have to be head to toe in your brand colors, but be cognizant of, right, who are your other competitors that might be there. You don't want to wear their colors, right? You want to represent your brand. So again, think about, is it a good investment to just get a polo shirt, a pullover, just a part of the color, of your brand colors. Think about, right, the whole branding package. You're being that in-person representative, making eye contact, engaging, right? You're representing your company, you're building that trust and that relationship. Ask questions of other people. In those networking settings, a big skill to have is to listen. You can hear about what are their challenges, who are they really trying to connect with. By what they're sharing, you're thinking about how can you work together. You could be referral partners, you could be direct customers of one another. It might just be a good person to know. I bet you once you start networking, you're going to start recognizing other people in the audience. That's always helpful, right? To have, someone there in the room that you already know and can connect with. So I also like to do that too. If I go to a networking event and I know some people in the room, you don't want to spend the whole time, right, just talking to them. I like to challenge myself. I'm going to make 3 new contacts tonight. So I kind of go like one and one. I might start with someone I know. It's making me feel comfortable. Okay, now I'm going to talk to someone I don't know. I'm just going to go up to them, right? Engage in those conversations. Think of those conversation starters. What's something exciting you're working on? What's a challenge in your business? Who are your ideal clients? What are good referral sources for you? How can we work together? Okay. And then think about, right, closing out the conversation. If it's something where maybe you're really not connecting, might not be someone you're going to connect with further, you can always, end the conversation. It was a pleasure to meet you. I'll follow up with you on LinkedIn. Then you're out of there, right? Or, be a connector in the room yourself. Oh, it was so great meeting you. I'm going to introduce you to this person. You should really chat with them right now. You're being that connector in the room. Um, if it's someone that you really want to follow up with, say, I would love to, schedule a phone call, a coffee meeting, a virtual session, right, within the next week. Kind of put a short timeline on it so you're kind of guaranteeing and it's giving you that reason to follow up with them. Um, Again, those are just some tips. I'll just share them as I think about them. But again, now strategy one, you're building that memorable first impression. You've got your branding, you've got your name tag, your business card, you've got that great elevator pitch and introduction to make you stand out. So, again, I think we talked through this. I'll give this example in the workbook. But again, here was just some examples of my fictitious marketing agency on how you can really build it out. Build a formula for you, talk it out loud. Say it out loud, practice it on your commute, do it in your head, talk to it out loud. You'll really get familiar and comfortable with it. Second, network with intention. When you're getting into networking, you might think, I have to go to every event that an organization's offering. I have to go to every chamber event. You're going to get burnout. You only have so many hours in the day, right? Remember, are you going to invest the time or the money to have this done? So if you're investing the time, you have other business obligations. You can't be at every networking event. So think about, will my ideal customer be there? Look on the organization that's hosting the event's website. Who are their members? Are they ideal clients? Maybe they're not. Where will I meet, right, those ideal clients? You might try one, kind of get a sense for it. Will there be referral partners there for me? Who are the members? Who's sponsoring the event? Who's speaking at the event, right? Um, if your ideal customer might be at a certain conference or event, that might be something you want to attend. If not necessarily, maybe that's one you skip. Is it industry specific? Will I meet decision makers? We'll talk about that later today in, right, having those qualified leads. You might meet a lot of great people, but are they the decision maker who's going to make the purchase? That's who you want to meet with. So again, think about who's going to be in that audience. Is it worthwhile of your time and travel to get there? So here's just some events that happen if you haven't done any networking or maybe want to learn some more. Think about industry conferences. Sometimes those take part, outside of your area. So is it worth the time and travel and investment for that? Maybe look for some local opportunities. Chambers of Commerce are great for networking. They usually have a member directory on their website. They usually list who the speakers are. You can kind of think about, okay, if it's about this topic, it's going to have this type of audience that might be a really good fit for my business. Trade organization meetings, there's some professional groups. Think about where you're located. Are you part of a business improvement district in Philadelphia, a CDC in Philadelphia? Maybe there's some sort of Main Street or business association in your neighborhood or in your township. That might be a really great way, especially if you're really looking to have, a local connection, some community ties. So think about those types of events or meetings that they have. Think about community events. If you're really, B2C and you're looking for community clients, right? Where would ideal clients gather? If you're looking for families, maybe there's some community events for that. Or, you're a restaurant, look for, the foodie restaurant type of events, or, tastes of the town, or those types of things that might be worthwhile for you to participate in. So again, be intentional about what event you're choosing. It takes a lot of time, travel, and money to do these things. So be selective. You don't have to go to every one. Ask the organizers, I really like your events. Do you suggest anything else? A lot of times, chambers, business associations, right? They have the public facing events, but then sometimes they have committees or smaller meetings that they host. Those might be even better opportunities for you, right? Because they're talking about a specific topic, or, maybe it's the contractors group, or it's the business owners group, and you want to connect with, right, the owners of the company, the decision makers. So maybe that's a better investment of your time. So again, just be intentional about the events that you're attending. Right? It's always quality over quantity. And again, set up a goal. Doesn't have to be these goals, but just have, again, a strategy that I want to make 5 new contacts at this event. That's my goal. Once I do it, I can leave if I want. If this is, I'm just starting out, it's really overwhelming to me. Have the goals, and then you don't have to stay the whole time. But I bet once you get comfortable with it, you're going to want to do more. Have a goal of, I'm going to schedule at least 2 follow-up meetings from those 5 new contacts I made. And I want to try to find a referral partner. Again, any type of goal, doesn't have to be these, but that helps with your strategy on guiding who you're meeting, right? Once you enter the room, then be strategic on, I want to meet these people in the room. I know that these companies are going to be there. That's my goal for today. Okay, now let's take a bit of a pivot, and we're going to talk about LinkedIn and how you can utilize LinkedIn for the networking. They really work hand in hand. LinkedIn can be networking for you 24/7, whether you're operating your business, sleeping, at a networking event. It really complements your networking really well. And a lot of people who are doing networking are really leveraging their LinkedIn. Okay, so before the event, let's take a look at your LinkedIn page, okay? Have one set up for yourself. That's a very professional facing account. You then can also set one up for your company, and you could use those to cross promote each other, right? Especially if you're associated with your business in a way. Update your LinkedIn profile photo, okay? You don't want the lasting impression to be, wow, they didn't look anything like their photo, right? I really love my headshot from 15 years ago, but I have to use one that looks like me now, okay? You could take a really nice one just using a cell phone video, have someone else maybe take it, use the different settings. A lot of business and entrepreneur assistance centers have headshot days, a lot of times at no cost. Check out your local libraries or business resource centers. And a lot of times the chambers or business associations, they'll also have like headshot days where maybe sometimes a photographer in the membership will offer discounted rates. So there are opportunities if you need a professional headshot to have that done. Again, taking one yourself also works too. Ensure that your headline in your LinkedIn profile explains what you do. Again, it's just like going back to that introduction. I'm Gab and I own Gab's marketing agency. Let's improve that LinkedIn headline again to include, right? I help small business owners generate qualified leads for their company or whatever it is for your business. That's what we can use again. So that elevator pitch and introduction, we're going to repurpose for our LinkedIn. Now, I heard that person introduce themselves at the event. I connected with them on LinkedIn. Oh, right, that's the person that, helps homeowners fix their residential problems without the headache of managing a construction project, right? Or whatever your headline is. Again, you're connecting those messaging, connecting the visual branding. We'll get into the formula to use for your LinkedIn just after this. Try to review the attendee list or the speaker list when available. Connect with some people ahead of time. And then again, you're building that recognition. Um, and again, if there's key speakers, you can follow them, follow the organizations who are hosting the event, all on LinkedIn. Um, Here is one formula. There's many available out there, but that you can implement right for your LinkedIn page. So you have a recent photo, and then here you go, your business and your role, what you do, who you help, and what outcome do you achieve? What problem do you solve for them? Here's three examples, okay? So if you're an accountant, you could put CPA and small business advisor. Okay, if you're really working with small businesses, mention that. Because if I'm a small business, I know that you work with me, right? You don't just work with large corporations. You'll work one-on-one with me. Okay, what problem do you solve? I help business owners understand their numbers and make better decisions. Okay, another example, I'm a residential realtor. I help first-time buyers navigate the home buying process. That's the thing you stand up and say at the event. Now it's all on your LinkedIn page. Use this formula and put it into, right, your own words and your own business. If you're a general contractor, you help homeowners complete quality renovations without the headaches. Okay, so again, you're talking to the ideal customer. What's their main problem? Why would they pay money for your service? Because you're solving a problem for them. So key in on that. That is your messaging. Follow up with strong branding. And now it's all really working together. Okay, so really use LinkedIn. Again, during the event, you can mention LinkedIn naturally, right? Grab a photo while you're there. If you don't want to be in the picture, take a photo of the signage. Again, if you don't know who to ask to take a photo with, whoever's organizing the event, if it's a chamber, I'm sure one of their reps would be happy to take a picture with you to promote the event. Or if you're talking to someone, let's take a selfie, let's take a group photo. Okay, you want to do that during the event, but again, don't just be on your phone the whole time. Um, Connect immediately with someone you're talking to when appropriate. If you're like, oh, I'm going to forget this person, or oh, I don't have a business card. Oh, no problem. Are you on LinkedIn? Let's connect that way. Okay. And then after the event, go through those business cards you collected, follow everyone. I would say within 24 hours before you forget. We're going to talk about our systems in a second. Follow everyone that you met, send a message there. Great meeting you at the event today. I enjoyed learning about your business. Like, let's stay connected. Let's connect next week. Are you available for a coffee chat or for a phone call? Take that photo that you took at the event and now you're going to post it, right? And guess what you're going to do? You're going to tag who hosted the event venue, anyone that you met there, maybe anybody in that photo. If there was a guest speaker, what's one takeaway or lesson you learned? Include that. I'm sure when you log on to a social media that you kind of love when someone either tagged you or messaged you or mentioned your business, right? So then you're kind of doing that for others as well. So that's a really good way to continue the engagement. If then you see the people that were also there are posting photos, comment, engage there. Great meeting you. Yes, I love that lesson I learned too, right? In the comments, tag again the host, maybe the venue it was. I loved when tag the speaker, talked about a financial strategy or whatever it is. Again, just other ways to continue the conversation, continue the engagement on LinkedIn, utilizing that with your network. And then here's just some more best practices, share lessons you learned at the event, could post some event photos, tag organizations. This helps people, again, remember who you are for that. Now, I'll take a pause. You might have heard some other business owners say, I've done networking, it hasn't done anything for me. I'm going to push back on that. I'm going to challenge that and say, I bet they didn't have these systems set up. We all hear about systems. we're going to do the hands-on, let's set it up for your business. You're going to have a CRM. Okay. You don't need expensive software tools. If you can afford it and use it, great. But we're going to learn how to just do it ourselves with whatever your favorite platform is. If you're an Excel person, if you like Google Sheets, if you like a pen and paper, whatever works for you. But we're going to learn how to do that and set it up. You need to put a system in place for the follow-up. This is the secret sauce to the networking. This is where you get those contacts and turn them into qualified leads. But again, you have to be very strategic. Yes, we want everyone in that business card deck to be our client, but we really have to be thoughtful in how we organize it. Okay. So, what's your follow-up strategy? I went to an event. Within 24 hours, I want to request on LinkedIn to connect anyone I met and maybe send a brief thank you email, especially if there's some key people you want to continue the conversation with. You want to follow up with them. Within that week, try to schedule, right, a meeting with them. Um, Maybe share a helpful resource. Maybe you talked about something during the event or you saw an article about a topic. You can be helpful, right? That's really great versus, right, the sales pitch. We've all met, right, someone who's very, pushing the sales. We don't really love interacting, right, with that, but someone who's helpful, knowledgeable, that's great. So think about how you could do that. Within the month, you want to check in. If you haven't heard from them, follow up. People are busy. Don't take it as, oh, they don't want to talk with me. They might have just got lost in their, inbox, or they're running a business just like you. It's really hard to stay on top of emails. So maybe they just need, right, a friendly reminder to follow up. If you then think about, oh, you know what, they should really connect with someone else I met, maybe, talk about making that introduction quarterly. Stay visible. You can send them a follow-up email, engage with them on LinkedIn, right? Maybe just give them a phone call. Maybe you'll know you'll see them at another event coming up. But provide value. Don't just really try to make that immediate sale. I will say networking is right. It's going back to building that relationship, building that trust, building that rapport. It's not going to be right the immediate sales. So just keep that in mind as you're going through it. But again, having these parameters in place, being strategic about it and intentional will help you not just, waste all that time and money going to every networking event that's happening this week. So this is what you're going to do. Here's your system. Let's put it into place. You have your stack of business cards that you collected. You're going to go into 3 categories, 3 buckets, put them into 3 piles on your desk. Okay. One is who's the ideal client. They could be turn into a prospect. This could be a lead generation. This is a really potential client, someone who has the budget to afford what you're offering. They are a decision maker or could get to a decision maker to approve the purchase. There is a clear need that they need your service, right? It's not just like a nice to have, it's a need. This company needs this. And also, like, there's some sort of clear timeline that they're going to need this soon, right? I'm not just going to redesign my website in 2028. No, I kind of need the small businesses that need some assistance now, okay? Put them into a pile. We want everyone to be our customer, I know, but really be strategic in who are those warm leads. This could really be a client. Second pile, who can refer you customers? Think about my ideal customer. What do they buy before they get to me? What are they going to buy after me? Okay, really obvious example, but I own a bridal dress shop, okay? Before, they're probably going to set the date, so they're probably in contact with venues, wedding planners, event planners. I want to connect with them because I want to be on their referral list for when people are buying their wedding attire. After me, then they might be doing, right, flowers, decor, catering, desserts, uh, gifts, invitations, etc. I want to connect with all of those local businesses too, because you never know where the referral can come back to you. Vice versa, I can also recommend those in my network for my clients as well. So that's your second pile, referrals, who can refer clients to you. Really helpful. Third pile, you're thinking about all those contacts you made. They're not really going to be customers. They're not really referral partners, right? They're nice to know though. It's really great to have a familiar face at an event. You never know when down the line that maybe they'll refer you. You know, everyone has friends, family, contacts. So you don't want to blow those people off. You know, if you're meeting them in person, oh, we'll never work together. I don't want to talk to you. Keep them in there, engage with them on LinkedIn. It's always good to know people. You never know when that could lead back to you. So again, that's just your third pile, but you're not going to focus your energy there. Now we have um, our two channels, right? Our potential customers, our referrals. That's where we're going to spend our time and put in the system in place. So here's just an example. This was on a LinkedIn sheet. You can use whatever you like. You can use the workbook we're going to provide. Contact information. Think about how you met, if you might not remember. What do we talk about? Real quick. Follow up. Should I follow up with them? And then just date it, because this is going to help you stay on track. Oh, I haven't connected with that person this week. I have to do it. But that helps you. You want to get them from a potential client to a prospect, which means they're a qualified lead, right? They have those different things. They have the budget, they can make the decision, they need your product, and they want to buy it kind of sooner than later, right? And we need them to then become your client. Here's just some ways you can kind of categorize them. If this helps you, you can add this there. But again, it doesn't have to be anything too detailed or in depth, but this just keeps you on track. So are they a new lead? Did you contact them? Are they interested? Did you send them a proposal or quote? Mark them as a customer if they did purchase, not now, maybe follow up with them, put a note, follow up in a month. No response, they need another follow up. I would say one or two more. Then you kind of get the, impression maybe they're not interested, or just put not a fit, no further action, but it doesn't mean you don't talk to them. They just, become a contact for you. Putting this system in place and having more than one follow up is really what's going to build that rapport and that relationship. Okay. And then next, right, you also then want to build that referral network. So again, if you're an accountant, you might want to connect with, right, a business attorney. Think about, what do people buy before and after. Like I said, if I'm a marketing consultant, I might want to connect with, right, web designers, photographers, social media content creators. If I don't offer those services in-house, they could be really good referrals back and forth for our clients, right? Realtors and mortgage brokers, HR consultants and payroll providers, right? The example with the weddings, right? If you're in that industry, there's all of those other businesses that you can collaborate with. So you also want to have this referral network and pipeline going, right? You have your direct sales, you have your referrals. And then talk about, right? You want to meet with them regularly. And you might not want to say, like, oh, can you just send me your clients, right? Say, like, let's learn more about each other's businesses, right? You want to know that other business. Are they a good business to recommend? You're kind of putting, right, your reputation on the line when you're sending the referrals. So you want to spend time with them. Is that a good business to do good business with? Is that someone you feel comfortable recommending a friend or family member to? Okay, then that might be a good partner for you, right? And let's see, what are opportunities for our clients. So you want to spend some time with them. Just because they might be a referral source, maybe you don't feel comfortable referring clients to them, but find the people that, you do feel comfortable with. And again, that can be a referral network working in the background as you're generating your qualified leads from there. And again, you can kind of set up a similar um, system for them. Have their contact information. How did you meet? Who can they refer? How can I help them? Right? And then a follow-up date. Also thinking about, who do my customers hire before and after me? And again, just have this in place. Could be an Excel sheet, Google sheet, Word document, notebook, whatever works for you. But this helps you stay on track, right, for that follow-up process, that action plan. That is the key with generating, right, the qualified leads and getting them to become clients. It's doing this work. It might not be the most exciting, it's kind of tedious. I understand that. But if you are staying on top of it and just take some time each month, whatever, a day that your business is closed, an hour in the morning that you have dedicated to this, put in these systems, and you'll start to see some results for your business and some traction. Then you want to come up with, right, your action plan. We talked about this before, right? After the event, connect with everyone on LinkedIn. Those that are, good to follow up with, send a message through LinkedIn. Try to schedule some conversations, phone call, virtual meeting, coffee chat, um, with those strongest prospects, partners, or referral sources. That's after each event. Don't just let that pile of business cards sit on your desk. Put them to use, put them into your system, have that follow up for them. Again, weekly check in. Just set aside 20 minutes. Enter in those new business card information, put them into the piles, okay? Contact the leads, thank the people who might have sent referrals once you're kind of out there and generating this, right? Think about some people to reconnect with, go through, right, your list and think, oh, I haven't talked to that person. I met them, back in June at that event, but the summer got busy. I'm going to reach back out to them, right? September's coming around, everyone's kind of back. Um, I'll connect with them again. And then record any new customers that you generated. You want to keep track on this because, again, you need to make informed decisions based on data for your business. And if you're able to say, I invested this money in my chamber membership, in the event costs, I invested this much time, make sure you're thinking about that. How much time did it take to travel back and forth to go to these events? You want to allocate, how many new connections you made, how many meetings did you set up, how many new clients did you get? But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. So we have our weekly just to do. Um, then you have your monthly, like just check in. You could do this quarterly if you're really busy. But think about, right? How many new contacts did I get? How many people did I follow up with? Be honest here, right? That's the hard part is the follow up, but that's what's getting you to those clients, okay? Referrals. How many did I receive? How many did I generate? New customers. Did I get new customers from referrals or directly from that networking? And then what worked? How did my pitch go? Did someone, make a note to me? Did my LinkedIn post do really well? Where did my best leads come from? Who should I follow up again? What could I do different next month? So always kind of check in. Again, if monthly is too much for your schedule, think about doing it quarterly, although that really gets away from, right? You want to take advantage of those recent connections. So I like to do it monthly to reflect back on the events from that month. And networking is really one of your marketing channels. So again, you can pull that data just like you would from your website traffic, from your social media posts. Here's your analytics, here's your data to make those smart decisions, right? Measure the activity that you engaged with, how many conversations did you have? Did you follow up? What's your pipeline looking like? How many qualified prospects are you getting out of your networking? Maybe the trade shows and the specific industries really work better for your business just because of your B2B clients, right? You don't want to be at maybe the community events because your clients aren't there, or vice versa. It's great learning about the latest in your industry, but my clients are my community because I'm a restaurant. So I want to be public facing and where the community can meet me, right? So really think about who are your clients, where are they going to be at? That's how you can make those strategic decisions on, I'm going to become a member of this trade organization. I'm going to say no to this organization because just my clients aren't there. So that's where you can then back up that decision, right? It's not just on, oh, that's what I feel like, right? No, I go back to this and I can point to, yes, I made this many uh, qualified leads through this organization. This is where I want to allocate my budget and my time. So this again just gives you that data to make your decisions on. Think about the results: new customers, revenue generated, referrals received, partnerships created, right? So this way you can say at the end of it, I spent 6 hours networking this month. I generated 3 qualified leads. I was able to send out 2 proposals as a result of that. And I received a $4,000 customer. Maybe you only spent, $300 on the membership, but look, it paid off. So yes, that allows me to make that decision that it's worth the investment. But again, it takes putting this system in place, right? Having that follow up. Again, thinking about how do you divide the contacts you made, having a follow-up plan for each bucket, category, however you want to organize it, right? And then tracking that data. All of those are important. The meetings you schedule, how many times you send a quote, conversations you have, referrals you set up, referrals you receive, maybe referrals you give out. That can really help with making those decisions about what to participate in, and can really help with your business development. So again, the main takeaway is networking can be fun. It certainly can be a social activity, but it can really be a meaningful marketing channel for your business. And again, think about all of it and how it all works together: the branding, the messaging, what you're saying in person or what your team is saying. Please note, if you have someone else representing your company, what are they saying at these events? What are they taking with them? Do they have a name tag? Do they have business cards? Equip your team, right? Make them feel comfortable and part of something, right? They're representing your business. So you want to make sure that they're prepared. They know what to say, right? Their LinkedIn is branded and messaged, right? Because they're your business development person. Make sure that they're empowered and confident to enter those rooms and represent your company. If it's you, then just make sure you have all of this, taken care of as you're going into these networking events. But, going through this, going through the process, like I said, we'll send along that workbook. You can kind of work through it for your company, and that will really help with having the confidence and also setting up that business development for your company as well. So lastly, I encourage you, we're coming up on time. Thank you so much for spending your morning with us. Hope it was really helpful. Again, we'll send a follow-up email. We'll send the networking workbook. We'll also send a survey. Please tell us how we're doing. Are there other topics you want to learn about? Was this helpful for your business? You can sign up for our newsletter where we send out all of those events coming up. Follow us on social media. Hey, if you're doing a presentation or an opportunity, have one of these slides for your business, right? Make it super easy for people to find you. Have a QR code for your company where it can go to your website or your newsletter. You can build one in Canva or some other pretty cost-effective tools. Make sure your handles are visible, right? Do this for your company as well, any place that you can. And if you want to work together with our amazing team, we encourage you to learn more about our no-cost consulting services. Check out some more of our programs and events coming up. We are here to serve you and to help your business start, grow, and prosper. So thank you so much for spending the time this morning. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. If there's anything else, Taya, that I can help with today.
Thank you, Gab, for presenting, and thank you everyone for joining us. That will be all. Again, as Gab mentioned, a follow-up email will be sent later today with the session materials and recording, as well as next steps if you're interested with working with the Temple SBDC, as well as if you are outside of our service area, we are definitely able to point you in the right direction for additional assistance. All right, thank you everyone, and we hope that you will continue to work with us, and we'll have you on our next session soon. Thank you.